Hello, we are Lana, Sebastian, and Sean Michael.
And we are a family who lives in a small housing co-op in Powell River, British Columbia.
And we are looking at building our home this summer, starting our build anyway. And the build will be a natural build. And yeah, we wanted to share that process with you as it's unfolding. So, one part to it so far has been that we were looking at maybe buying something like a trailer to live in while we saved up more resources to build our full home. And then we thought, well, what if we just put that money towards building an initial small space that we could build onto later? So that's what we're exploring now. And yeah, so we're going to be sharing that process with you.
So Lana and I are very beginning builders. We haven't built in natural materials before. We haven't built in non-natural materials or more manufactured materials. So we are coming this with kind of fresh eyes, leaning on books and people in our lives and around our community that know how to build in this way. And so we've begun to connect to other people in the co-op who build with natural materials and have built. And we've also gotten consultation with some designers and builders in town and in our community that have helped us begin to narrow down exactly how we want to move forward with this build.
So we can share our design with you. All right, so a couple things to know about our lot in order to understand this design is that our lot will likely have this green space here. So this is the east, this is the south up this way, and then we've got west and the north. So to the east, there will be a big green space that will be for a future septic system. And up in front of the south here is some ponds, and it's a little ridge down to those ponds. There's one main pond that it looks over. And yeah, it's a pretty beautiful view, and it's also really lovely that that's where our south-facing spot is for more sun. So just to orient you, the idea is that this area here would be what our initial build is. And then this area back here would be where we add on later on. So we're going to really just be looking here for the next little bit. So this would be where we could enter. This is a door from the outside coming in. And we've got some counter space and fridge and some cupboards and sink and stove and oven, etc. And then our table here, our kitchen table here. Hopefully some French doors or some kind of slider off the front. And then this would be our future living room, but for the time being, this would be where we would have our king bed, our dresser, our crib for our little boy, etc. And then this would be a modest kind of bathroom space initially with a barn door that slides out. And then we've got a shower and a toilet here. And we're looking at using an electric heat pump for our heat for this initial build. We're interested in potentially a rocket mass heater or something like that later on, but we thought, starting off with building is a big undertaking, especially a natural build, is a big undertaking for beginners like us. So yeah, we're going to keep things kind of simple to start off with. So the squares in this design are each a foot. So you can see that our exterior walls are a foot wide, and that's because we're planning to use a form of natural building called light straw or light clay. And so we're actually going to be using wood chips and clay for our walls, and we'll do that as an infill around our timber frame. So the timber frame would have these posts here where the circles are. So probably 8 posts to start with 8 here and then 10 here, so that the slant is going down towards the ridge. And that's so that we can allow for our addition to actually have a second story as well. So that's why you see stairs down here in that second addition going up to an upstairs area that will have a roof slanted the other way so that the windows that are essentially right along here on the second story can all be south facing as well. So I think that's everything to share. And yeah, we've been consulting with a few people. One person who's designed a few natural homes and another person who's built a few, and we're getting some insights about the changes that have been important to make. So we didn't start out at this design. We had a few other designs before we kind of started to refine and land on this one, and we know that things will likely change. Probably things in this initial build, but definitely things in this addition that we're planning later on. But this is in the spirit of good enough for now and safe enough to try.